Hey everyone, it's Erin with Hail Varsity. I am joined by Drake, also of Hail Varsity, and we are here at Memorial Stadium recapping another Nebraska football practice. Just a little fair warning, if you hear anyone or see anyone, they're actually cleaning up and getting things taken care of post-practice, because Nebraska did practice inside Memorial Stadium today. It was not a scrimmage, but it's just good to get into this environment. It's also not too hot outside right now, so this made for a good day to be out here. Drake, we did get to see about 30-ish minutes of practice. So what just right off the top stood out to you about what we saw today?
Yeah, I mostly spent time watching the offense where they did some work with the option, running backs catching passes. Ramir Johnson did some work with both the running backs and wide receivers, so that's an interesting note. Some players did not practice between Turner Corcoran and Trey Palmer was not feeling well, and DeColdis Crawford was not out there. So those are some interesting notes.
Yeah, and if you're kind of wondering about what do we know about those potential injuries or reasons that players are out, like if it's not all injuries, for instance, Trey Palmer just wasn't feeling well today, and so Mickey Joseph said that was the reason he was not on the practice field, as he woke up feeling under the weather, so that is why we didn't see him out at practice. DeColdis Crawford, Mickey Joseph told us to talk to Frost, which we will talk to Frost on Saturday, so I assume he will provide an update then. And we were supposed to hear from Donovan Raiola today, but unfortunately something came up that prevented him from being able to speak to us, so we weren't able to get any specifics about Turner Corcoran. So those are some things that we'll have to just wait, one, until we hear from Frost, or until we get Raiola. He will speak post-practice next week, so hopefully we'll get some answers on those things soon. But in the meantime, a couple of the things I heard, and I know you heard the same thing, Mark Whipple said that the offense didn't do so hot today. In fact, the defense really shined, although Casey Thompson told me off to the side that the offense did get the defense yesterday, so it sounds like they are kind of trading punches at this point.
Yeah, we've heard it throughout just the fall that they've both had their days. A lot of, Mickey Joseph last week talked about how the wide receivers weren't doing well. Now we hear about the whole offense, but they're still working at it, trying to bounce back. Mickey Joseph did mention that the wide receivers responded to what he had said, so that's a positive sign for that side.
And one thing that I heard a lot of when I was kind of standing out here is a lot of people, there were a few non-media people here that were watching, and something that I kind of kept overhearing was just the level of kind of just the attitude that the players had, that they were pretty hyped up, they were ready to go. Not to say that players haven't been in the past, but that's always something worth noting, is just kind of the energy and excitement level, especially at this point in camp, because it does start to turn into a grind. So good that the energy level seems to be pretty consistent. They're staying at the top of it. Now, Casey Thompson did talk a little bit about that, just about how they can't take everything. You might have one bad play in practice, but you have to respond to the next thing just as excited as you could have been if you had a great one, great drill just before that. So it was interesting kind of hearing how they're approaching some of that. With that said, another injury note, Thomas Fedoni, he injured his knee this past spring. However, he is trying very hard to get back. What we do know is there's no timetable. Sean Beckman has told us, could be this season. They expect it to be this season, but they also don't want to push him because they see the long game for him. However, he was running stadium stairs, and very quickly I was winded just watching him run the stadium stairs, but he was putting in the work kind of on his own off to the side. Speaking of another person who was putting in the work off to the side, Devin Drew, the defensive lineman from Texas Tech, he is in Nebraska. He was off to the side in what looked to be spider pads. They need a 3-day acclimation period from arrival time before he can start putting on full pads. So it looked like spider pads to me, but he was doing some of his own drill work, and you did get to see a little bit of that off to the side.
Yeah, I didn't catch much of his work, but, it's good that they're getting him in and involved, and just another transferred defensive linemen are in that front seven that they're looking to contribute this season.
I mean, he looked good size. It's hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw some comparison notes in different places of people talking about how he compared in size to, say, DeAndre Thomas, different individuals. And so it'll be interesting once we can actually see him in action with the defensive line getting to work. My last note that I will share is I was really looking forward to hearing from Raiola today, so I look forward to hearing from him next week. He was definitely one of the most fired up coaches on this on this practice field today. Obviously Brian Applewhite, Mickey Joseph as well, but the amount of curse words that were coming out of Donovan Raiola's mouth, and they were very fired up over there. Take from that what you will, but I was like, there's so much we can't share because of the things that we are hearing right now. But they were very much like going through those drills where they were pushing each other, and you could see like them getting frustrated if they didn't perform as well as they had hoped to. So it was really interesting to kind of watch that group work together. Did the offensive line, did anything stand out to you about that group?
I mean, I heard them. So, just like you said, I heard them a lot.
It was pretty clear. They were really going at each other. So we will have plenty more to come. We will hear from Scott Frost on Saturday. It's actually this whole 3 days on, 1 day off thing means we get to hear from Scott Frost on Saturday. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss a thing. Also be sure to subscribe to Hail Varsity, hailvarsity.com/subscribe. You're going to want to, because our August issue is getting ready to ship very, very soon, and it's always our volleyball issue. So a little volleyball talk in football, but we're always very excited for that. Drake, any final thoughts as we get ready to go get even more practice information out?
Not much. It was nice to hear from the quarterbacks. Casey Thompson talked about stepping up as a leader and, how he's fitting in on the team. And he talked about, even when there's not a low point in practice or a game, that he wants to be talking and leading the offense. So yeah, that's another thing they're just looking to bring every single day.
I guess we should also add that Casey and Chuba are splitting reps with the one, and that Logan Smothers pretty much QB3 at this point. That's not to say we can't see any changes, but that was what Mark Whipple told us. So plenty more to come. Again, we'll hear from Scott on Saturday. Thank you for being here. Thank you for just being a part of the conversation. Keep chiming in with those comments. We'll answer as we are able, and we will talk to you later.